Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share with you all my foundation routine. I do have oily skin, so I just want to show you all some techniques that I use to keep my foundation lasting the majority of the day. So let's get started. Okay, so first I like to go in with a moisturizer, and for starters I like to use my Clinique Hydrating Jelly, which I've been loving for a couple of years now. It gives good hydration to the skin before you put anything else on your skin. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little of this on my face. And I take just a little bit of it and just rub it on my face. Okay, so the next thing I like to do is take a moisturizer in addition to that hydrating jelly. And I love my Pond's skin cream. I know it says dry skin, but I like using it because it's a rich hydrating moisturizer. Although I do have oily skin, I still like to have hydrated skin. So I'll take a little bit of this Pond's moisturizing cream. And I always take it down my neck as well, because when I put on my foundation, I blend it down my neck. Okay. And then I'll just rub that in really good. And I kind of let that sit for a couple of seconds. And while that's doing that, while it's sitting inside my skin and moisturizing it, I like to mix two foundations. And it has been working for me really well. And I like the Maybelline Superstay and the LA Girl Pro Coverage. And I like mixing these two because it gives a great coverage and it's a good match for my skin tone. And I use the shade Honey in the Superstay. And then I like to use the color Warm Beige in the LA Girl Pro Coverage. So I use my little Ulta mixing pan, or whatever you want to call it. And I just put 2 drops of the Maybelline because it's like on an orangish side. I just like the full coverage of it. Then I'll take the LA Girl Pro and mix about 3 squirts. I know it looks like a whole lot of foundation, but I like the way it tones it down once I get through blending it and putting it on my face. So I'm looking for something to blend it with. Okay, so I'm going to take the back of the end of this stick. I lost my spatula. I have to find it. And then I just mix it on here until it gets, mix it all the way together until it gets that neutral color that I like. Okay, so now I have the consistency and color that I like for my skin. Next, I'm going to go in with my primer. And I've been loving my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is an awesome primer. Although it's on the high-end side, I really like it. I always take 2 pumps of it. And I mainly focus this in my T-zone area, where I get oily the most. And I just rub it in. and under my, I kind of put a little under my eye area. And a little bit right above my, right between my brows where I get oily. And it gets really, really sticky. So, like I said, it doesn't take a whole lot of that hydro primer either. So if you ever want to invest in it, it's a good investment. I believe it's about 40 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks, somewhere around that line. But it's really, really good. I've been using it for a very long time. I only take like 2 small pumps of it. So a little bit goes a long way in case you think about trying that primer. Okay, now it's getting really, really tacky, which is what it's supposed to do to grip your foundation. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my foundation and my beauty sponge. And I've been loving the Wet n Wild. I think this is Wet n Wild. Yeah, it is the Wet n Wild Total Face Sponge. And I just take it and put it on my skin. And I'm just taking this sponge and just making sure it blended out flawlessly and seamlessly. And I just love, like I said, I love the coverage of it. And I took a little bit more and go around the bottom area of my face. Then I hit my ears with a little bit of it and drag it down my neck. That way your face is not one color and your neck is another color. It kind of blends it in, you know, for you. And I don't worry about it being a tad bit dark for my skin because I do go in and highlight and contour to kind of correct that, you know, that darker tone for my skin. So I'm okay with that. And just make sure you take your time and just blend your foundation and blend it really good. So I think that should be about enough for me. And I have a little bit left, but I don't want to overdo it because I do have to bronze and highlight, and that's adding additional product to your face. And you don't want to continuously add product and it'll cause cakiness. So I have a little bit left. I'm not going to use that. So I'm going to go on to my next step in my foundation routine, which is to start highlighting and contouring and or bronzing. So I'm going to start with the highlighting. I'm going to use this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer, which I've had a long time. It's fair light because I do like a really light highlighting area. So I'm going to just put a dab of it under my eye area. And then put a little bit on my chin area and right in my forehead area. And while that's sitting, I'll go in and I'll go ahead and add some L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. And this is in the shade Honey. And I like to contour with this shade. And then I'll add a little bit in the areas where I like to contour. And then I'll put a little bit on my forehead area. And just a little against my jawline. Okay, so what I like to do is let that sit for maybe a couple of seconds, not too long, because you want to start blending it, because you don't want it to start drying out on you. So what I'll do is take this crown brush and then blend out the actual concealer that I just placed on my face. And as you can see, it's I already have like this. It's blending really good. That's why I like that L'Oreal. Then I'll do the other side. And I like this brush because it's really, really dense. Then I'll go to my forehead and start blending.
Mom? Mom?
Stop it. Grandmommy's doing a video. Sorry. Okay, so back to the contouring. And then I'll just continue to blend out the contoured areas where I placed the concealer. And it's like I said, it blends really, really well and seamless. Okay, I'm just making sure it's blended like I want it to be blended. Okay, so next I'm going to take my sponge and then kind of blend in the highlighted areas. And then what I do for this area, I just go all the way up here where I would normally, where you place your powder for the little highlighted area. I like to just go around and make it evenly where it's highlighted. Then I'll go into my eye area and go ahead and highlight and blend it, what I've highlighted, sorry. And I don't worry about it going too far out because I'm going to bronze up a little bit anyways. And it'll correct that issue out here that needs to be blended. So I'll do the other side. It's looking really, really good. And then I'll do my forehead area. Okay. So, and just double blending it again just to make sure it's blended seamlessly. So, okay. Now I'm done with the highlighting and contouring. I'm going to go ahead and set everything. So I'm going to set with this mixture of RCMA and Airspun. I mixed the two together because I like the RCMA formula, but it was a little bit too white for me. So I mixed it with naturally neutral in the Airspun shade. And I like the way it looks. It doesn't look too white. So I'm going to set under my eye with that. And then you want to dust off the excess. And I like to go around with it. So now I'm going to set my forehead area. And I'm just setting all of the highlighted spots where I place the brightening concealer. And my chin. And now what I like to do next is to go in with this deep peach. I actually mixed this as well. I'm sorry. But I just, when I buy setting powders, I really can't seem to find the shade that really matches me, you know, like perfectly. So I find myself mixing and carrying on with powders and stuff. So this is one of my blended. It was a deep peach. So I kind of mixed it with some RCMA again, kind of lined it up a really good bit so to my skin tone. So I'm just gonna set the rest, and see how perfect it fits my skin tone. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I like a formula and they don't have my shade, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna mix it until I can get the shade I'm looking for. So that's what I like to do. Because me, I would not throw away a product if I do not have to. I'm going to find a way to use it. So now I'm going to go in and start contouring. And I'm going to take this Morphe 8H Contour and Highlighting Palette, which is this here. And I'm going to go ahead and go in with Debutante, which is this shade here. And I'm going to contour with this shade. And I mix them up on a daily. It just depends on what I feel like. But I normally mix them up. And this brush I'm using, it's a fan brush that came in a MAC holiday gift set. But I love this little brush to contour with. I love this little brush to contour with rather than highlight. Because it gets right in those, right there, and makes it precise for me how I like it. Without being all over the place. So I've been living this brush. Then I'm going to take the shade Donut and Blazer. And I'm going to do my forehead area and kind of bronze with those two shades. Because I didn't want it as dark as the contour on my cheekbone. And just kind of place it. And I'm going to take those same two colors and do that line, that lower jawline that I contoured as well. I just like for my contour to be a little bit deep, you know. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do a little blush and highlighting. So for my blush today, I think I want to go in with the GIGI Gorgeous in the, is it a shade on here? There is not. This is the shade I'm going to use today. I'm not going to highlight with that, but I'm definitely going to use the blush today. And put on the apples of my cheeks. So now I'm going to highlight a little bit. And I want to highlight with my BECCA medium to deep face palette, Be a Light. I love this palette. I stopped using it. I don't know why. I think I got lost in my stash. But I found it and pulled it out today when I thought about doing this video. So I'm going to actually throw a couple of these shades on my face. Mainly, I like this color here. I'm going to highlight with this color. I can't read it, it's so small, I'm sorry. But I do want to use these two shades to highlight with. So I'm going to take this little Real Techniques, and it says it's a contour brush, but I like to use it as a highlighting brush. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of this shade and a little bit of this shade. Then I like to do my nose. I know some people say it's overwhelming, but I still like it. I still like it. And it's like really, really nice and subtle. It's not too over the top. Okay. So what I'm going to do lastly is to take my Wet n Wild sponge. And what I want to do is carve out and sharpen where I contoured and bronzed on the side of my face. And go down my neck to set the rest of the makeup. Okay, so that does it for my foundation routine, my bronze, my highlight, my contour. Those are the techniques that I use when I am putting on my foundation. Well, let me start off. Moisturizing, putting on my foundation, contouring, and powdering and setting it. That's the routine I use. I love it. It works for me. I like the turnout of it. I love the way it looks. So now what I'm going to do is set my face. Well, no, I'll take that back. I will not set my face. What I'm going to do is go ahead and finish my lower lash line off camera. And then I will be right back to finish off my face, set it. And then I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I am back with the final finished look. And what I did was added eyeliner and a couple of shadows to my lower lash line. So I love the way it looks. I'm going to go ahead and spray it, and I just normally set it. And sometimes, depends on how I feel, I'll kind of take my sponge and press in the spray. And I'm using my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I go between setting sprays. It really doesn't matter which kind I use, but that's what I had on hand right here in front of me today. So that is my foundation, highlight, contouring routine when I do my makeup. And if anybody is interested or wanting to know, wondering what eyeshadow is on my eyes today, I used the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette, which is a beautiful palette. And I used the shades Palooza, Ultimate, and Trance on my eyelid, which is, it turned out so beautiful, so beautiful. I know it's a foundation video, but my eyes look so good. I just want to share in case anyone wanted to know what's on my eyes. And then my lower lash line, I used Wicked, which is this purple, and then I layered it with Trance. So those are the only shades I used on my eyes today. So if any of you are interested, I believe they're having a up to 75% off sale, which is, I believe, ends this weekend. I'm not 100% sure. But if you want to grab this palette, this is an awesome, awesome, awesome palette. This is like my second time using it. The first time, it was kind of difficult, but I love it. I just want to throw that in there. I know it wasn't part of why I did this video, but I know some people may want to know what eyeshadows I use, and this is the palette that I use. So I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my foundation routine, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.